I really want to understand. People like that reason this way and think the child or the daughter, the son, whoever is crazy. And then you want to call their mother to complain. Where do you all think the crazy comes from? Because I know in my case, okay, if you call, one, if you find the audacity, I don't know where you find it from, but if you find it and you call me on the phone to complain about something my child did, first and foremost, I don't care how outrageous it is, I'm always backing my child up first. I don't care what it is. Oh, my son called your son names, my daughter insulted you. What's the context? Because my children don't just do that anyhow. There must be more to the story, right? And that leaves me with a little story time. Some weeks back, I went to my middle son's primary school because our daughter is starting primary school this September. So we just got in when they had their break. So all the kids were outside, and I saw my son walking along with the teacher beside him, and the teacher had her hand on his shoulder. And I was like, I saw by the way my son was walking, there was an issue. So I called him. He immediately turned. He saw me. He ran towards me. And if I'm someone, I would not like hug him, carry him up in public without his consent first. Because, children can be fucking scary and, children can be terrible. They will bully him. Mama's boy this, mama's boy that. You know the drill, yeah? So, but he wanted to be hugged. So I carried him up and I said, what's the problem? He started telling me this. Then the teacher followed. She was walking behind him and she was like, yeah, they've been having problems. So I dropped my child and I looked at her and I said, what's the context? She looked at me. He was like, your son hit the other child, who happened to be a boy too. Like it was so bad that they literally were hitting each other until they got out of that playing area. I was like, okay, what's the context? Because my son doesn't just do that anyhow. So fortunate for all of us, another child joined the conversation, was like, yeah, I saw it. This child hit Damian in the belly before when they were up on the playing area. I looked at the teacher, I was like, come again? And that's when my blood pressure started rising, okay? And I started boiling inside. Then I squat down to my son and I said, listen, I don't care what it is. And, we speak English with them at home. And we live in Germany, so they don't usually speak English like that. I looked at him. I told him, listen, whatever happened now, tell me. I will sort it here right now. Here and now. Whatever it is, I'm on your side first. You know that, right? I was like, I know, Mama, this boy has been disturbing me. He has been disturbing me for days. He's not leaving me alone. He will follow me around. I was like, did you tell the teachers? He said, yes, I did. Did they do something? No, they didn't. That's when I lost my shit entirely. The teacher stopped existing for me in that moment. I turned to the boy and I said, listen, and listen carefully. I will say this once and once only. And if I have to say it again, both you and your parents will not like the consequences. That's when the teacher started, she tried to interrupt me. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm still speaking. Because one thing you're not going to do is interrupt me. Who are you? I said, listen, my son does not just come up to anybody and punch him without any further reasoning. We have two witnesses here because now, the situation was there. The children started gathering, it was like a conversation. It was a little bit heated too. So a second child joined and was like, yeah, I saw it too. And the boy was actually pushing Damian around. Damian told him to stop. He shouted at him until he couldn't take it no more. That was literally his wording. He couldn't take it no more. I looked at the boy and I said, listen, if I ever hear your name again, if I ever hear your name in a complaint again that you anyhow touched my son, even took a breath in his direction, I will see you, your parents, the school authorities, and CPS here. And I will make sure this will not happen again. And the teacher was like, please, no threat. I turned to her and I said, listen, I'm not threatening anybody. I am making promises. That's a very big difference. One thing I will never do is threaten people because that's for cowards. One thing I am not is a coward. Anything you hear come out of this mouth, it's a promise. So if you do not take care of my child's safety, I will gladly do that myself. On or off your school premises. It's been 5 weeks. I haven't had any complaints so far. So when you decide to call the parents of these children, just be aware that our kids got it from us, okay? The confidence, the insults, the way of talking, the standing up for themselves, they are standing their ground, they got it from us, okay? We did that, okay? And best believe we are 10 times worse, okay? So for everybody's sake, and for the sake of peace to reign, do not fucking underestimate our children, okay? Because that will never end well, ever.